Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today's video is going to be all about concealers, the best, the worst, high-end, low-end, everything like that. I've gotten so many requests to do these type of videos. I have a lot of them on my channel, and I will make sure to have some playlists linked down below or anything with some products that I've already done. I've already done best fall lips, I've done best highlighters, and some others as well. So yeah, we're going to be doing concealers today. I usually just talk about the best, but I don't have a whole bunch of concealers just because I declutter a lot of them regularly, but I'm going to talk about some that are good and some that are not the best. There's a whole lot more good than there is bad. So let's just go ahead and get into this video. If you want to see the best and worst concealers in my personal opinion, then just go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way my absolute favorite concealer of all time, the one that I cannot get away from, the one that I use pretty much in every single video, which is the Tarte Shape Tape. I am currently using Fair Neutral, but my favorite shade is Fair. But I'm just going to use this one up before I purchase another one because it is a little more expensive. I'll make sure with each concealer that I talk about that I put the price range up somewhere on the screen so you're able to see that. I don't know them all by heart, but I will make sure to put them on the screen for you guys. But this is just the best concealer. The wear time is incredible. The coverage is incredible. It does crease on my eyes throughout the day, but every concealer that I use does, but it's not anything dramatic. It doesn't fade away underneath my eyes, which is a super big thing for me because when I do wear makeup, I wear it for such a long time. I wear it for at least 12 hours pretty much every single day. So when I put something on my face, especially daily, you know it's going to work and last on me because I don't wear anything that doesn't last well on me. So the Tarte Shape Tape is absolutely the best. I love it so much, and it's a lot of people's like ride or die favorite, and it is mine as well. So this is definitely my number one concealer. I'm going to talk about the rest of them, but not in any particular order. I'm probably going to save the few bad ones for the end. So the best. The next concealers I'm going to talk about are ones that I've actually recently talked about on my channel because I have reviewed them compared to the Tarte Shape Tape because these are two of the dupes out there, or they are advertised as dupes. There we go. I couldn't figure out the name of it. The first that I'm going to be talking about is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This is a really great concealer. It looks almost identical to the Tarte Shape Tape underneath your eyes. It doesn't last quite as long, but it is a great concealer and one that I wear really often. This is, I would say, more for those with normal to oily under eyes, if that makes sense. This one is a little bit drying, but it just like emphasizes a little bit of texture underneath the eyes. So if you are going to use this one, use some kind of eye cream underneath or just someone that is a little more normal to oily under eyes. Just because this one does tend to be a little bit drying, but it is great. I have pretty dry under eyes and I just moisturize my under eyes before I use this, but it works great on my under eyes. How many times can I say my under eyes in a video? That's what we're talking about today. So this is such a great concealer, and it is from the drugstore, so it is a little more inexpensive than a lot of the concealers that are out there. Oh, and the shade that I am in the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear is the shade Eggshell. This is my perfect shade. I absolutely love it. It is more of a neutral based shade, and it just works really great on my under eyes. The next concealer that I'm going to talk about is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer, and I am in between shades. I think I am more of like the second shade in the range, but for right now I'm using the lightest shade, which is Fair Warm, and I'm mixing it with Light Beige, which this one's way too light, this one's a little dark, so I mix these for right now. But these concealers are so good. I have it on underneath my eyes right now. I can wear this all day and it works really great. It doesn't last quite as long. There's a little bit of breakup throughout the day, but it's such a great concealer. This one does dry fast, but with that being said, it's not drying underneath the eyes, so when you work with it, just make sure to blend it out pretty quickly. It does tend to dry fast, but once you have blended it out and it's underneath your eyes, it will not budge for the most part, and it is not super drying underneath the eyes. Plus, these are so inexpensive. Probably the cheapest concealer that I'm going to talk about today. So inexpensive. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's around $5 or $6. So incredible, such a good concealer, and yeah, I just love these so much. The next concealer that I'm going to talk about is the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour Concealer. That's the longest name. I am in the shade C1, but this is a great concealer, not quite as full coverage as the first few I've talked about, but it does provide a good amount of coverage. I'd say it's between medium and full, but can be buildable. I prefer not to build it just because I feel like it looks more beautiful under the eyes just with one single layer, but it is a great concealer. It can give you a good amount of coverage, and this one is also from the drugstore. It lasts a really great time underneath the eyes. I actually really like the texture of this concealer. It's a little bit more of a moussey texture underneath the eyes, which I prefer. I love anything that's moussey, whether it be a foundation or concealer. Love those type of concealers underneath the eyes. So this is a really great concealer, also drugstore. Such a great price point, and I definitely recommend this one. One concealer that I want to talk about that I actually don't have with me is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. That is such a great concealer. I tend not to buy it as much because it is pretty expensive for the price point. You get a lot less product than you get in the Tarte Shape Tape, and I think it's around the same price as Tarte Shape Tape. So I think you get about half of the product, and it just doesn't really seem worth it to me. I get it every once in a while when I want to splurge or anything like that, but it's about a medium to full coverage. It looks beautiful under the eyes, super hydrating, such a good concealer. Oh my goodness. If you guys are looking for a more high-end hydrating creamy concealer, that one is definitely one to pick up. So the next few that I want to talk about are not bad. Some are not terrible, but some are terrible, so I'm gonna make sure to let you know that before we go on. So 3 that are in that more like they're not terrible but they're not great either, they're kind of just in the mix, are these 3. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about is the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer from Catrice Cosmetics. This one is not bad by any means. I still use it in videos, but it's not the longest lasting and it's not the most coverage despite the name. So Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer, not quite. It's like more of a medium coverage. They did just update their shade range, so before that it wasn't that great, but it is better now. This one just provides more of a medium coverage, doesn't last a super long time under the eyes. But with that being said, if you're just wearing it for a little bit of time, you're not looking for something full coverage, this one will be a good concealer. It is pretty affordable from the drugstore. The next concealer is along the same lines as what I said about that one. This one is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I just recently picked it up in a lighter shade just because it's always been one that I have heard so many people talk about, and they never really had a shade for me unless I was tan, and so I picked it up in the lightest shade, which I have shade 5 in this. Also in the Camouflage Concealer, I'm shade 005, but it is a little dark for me when I am my normal self. But this one is more of a medium coverage as well. It doesn't last a super long time underneath the eyes. I find that this one makes my under eyes look a little textured. So yeah, this one is not my favorite, not my go-to, but if you guys are looking for something more medium coverage and something that you're just gonna wear for a few hours, this one is a good concealer, also from the drugstore. This one I'm pretty bummed about. It's not that it's bad, it's that it just doesn't last long underneath my eyes, and this is the Morphe concealer. I will link the video up in the eye. When I first tried this, I loved how it looked underneath my eyes when I first tried it, but when you wear this a little bit more it doesn't do well underneath my eyes for a long time. It breaks up pretty easily. Like I'll literally see it like coming off underneath my eyes, which is very weird. I've never had any issues with my under eyes like doing that with normal concealers with how I set it and everything, but yeah, this one just didn't really work out for me. I'm still gonna wear it because I love the way it looks underneath my eyes. I just won't wear it for a long time. But yeah, this is also from the drugstore, so it's not super expensive or anything. I believe it's around $9, but I have the shade C125, which is like my perfect shade. But yeah, this one just didn't really work out for me. This is the one concealer that is just a no. Just a no for me. This one is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer, and I have mine in the shade 100 Pure Ivory. This concealer looks so bad underneath my eyes. I cannot get it to look good whatsoever. It brings out all the texture. It almost looks like I have little bumps underneath my eyes. Does not cover well. I see so many people talking about how this is such good coverage and it looks so great underneath their eyes. I do not like it at all. So yeah, I would just steer clear of this one, but to each his own. Everything is different underneath everyone's eyes, so you can definitely try this out if you like to, but for me, it personally did not work. Okay guys, that is it for this video. That is all the concealers that I have that I recommend. The ones that I would not technically recommend really. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And once you have subscribed, please make sure to turn on that little bell notification so you're notified every single time I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.